Welcome to BunniPhish Crafts. I'm your host Heather, known as BunniPhish on Instagram, YouTube, and Patreon. Today is Wednesday, the 7th of April, 2021. This is episode 9, I think, and I'm coming to you from the yarn shop. So I left my house and I forgot to grab my camera. So this video quality is going to be pretty poor. I'm sorry. And theoretically, I could have gone back to my house to get my camera, but Patrick was sleeping and he was being a grump, and I didn't want to, and it's garbage day, so there was garbage trucks to contend with on the roads, and I will just put in pictures of everything that I talk about so that you can see them looking lovely. First, let's talk about what I'm wearing, because I'm wearing some knitting today. It is supposed to be 70 degrees later. It's probably lowish, midish, 60s, I don't know. So not quite warm enough for me to not wear anything, but it will be later. So I am wearing a pattern by Josh Rick-Srabinski, who is Rebel Pup Designs. This was a mystery knit along that he did for the first ZK. And I think it's the first shawl that I made for myself. It's a shawlette, it's small, and it is called Graphic Infection. So it's got beautiful little slip stitch details, and it is lovely. I have a giant bag, full of stuff to show you. So there's no real order. It's just whatever comes out of the bag next. But in front of me, I have a little bag. So I will show you this. I am knitting a sock, vanilla sock, because on the last day of March, it was the last day to cast on for twinning projects for the ZK Knit Along, and Julia, a friend of mine, posted that she did a vanilla sock with a heel that she had designed, and wanted to know if anyone was interested in twinning. And I didn't have a huge lineup for April, so I was like, you know what, yes, I'll do a vanilla sock. Here is that sock, and I am super close to the toe. I have 8 rounds to go until I put in a toe. 8 rounds until I try on the sock, because this is a new to me heel. It's called the double scoop heel, and it's kind of a short heel, so I don't know how it's going to fit. I'll probably finish it today, so I'll put in a picture here of the finished sock on my foot so we can see how it fits. So I estimated how many rounds I was going to need based on how many rounds I normally do. I added a few rounds to that, but I'm going to try it on before I do the toe, and then we'll see. We'll see how it goes. The yarn that I'm using is Fiber Nymph Dye Works Bounce Base, which is her 7525 base, in the colorway Shepherd's Pie. So she does these really cool colorways. Lisa of Fiber Nymph Dye Works, she does, they are called Pie, the Pie Collection. And she takes the colors from the ingredients in some pies and then does a striping sequence based on the number pie, 3.14159. That's as far as I have memorized, but that's the striping sequence. So the socks won't match. If you want matchy socks, that collection is not for you, but I don't care. And this is the shepherd's pie color. So instead of being the food that you would find in a shepherd's pie, it is representative of different breeds of sheep. I think it's super, super pretty. And Patrick is already eyeing them to try to take them away from me. So rude, totally rude boyfriend. But he knows that he'll get the socks when I tire of wearing them, probably in about 3 years. I don't generally wear out my socks. I generally wear them until they don't snug back up in the wash. Oh, I have a fuzzy in my nose. Yeah. So that's one work in progress. Then we have a jump rope because I decided I needed to pack my jump rope. I don't know why. I might take myself to the beach after work. It's really, really, really close. And it's like a beach park thing. I haven't decided. We'll see how like peopled out I feel. Inside this beautiful bag, I have a couple finished objects. So I have a pair of Fingerless Mitts. Wow, this is going to be a very Fiber Nymph heavy intro. I have a pair of Fingerless Mitts. It's my design. It's called the Tick Mitts. So it's based off of time, and the ribbing, gradually you get less of it as you go around, and you can wear it either way. They're reversible. So if you want more ribbing on the back, less ribbing on the back, whatever. They are directional right and left for thumb placement. But these are them. And the yarn is Fiber Nymph Dye Works in, nope, that's for the other project. Bounce base, nope, not bounce, whatever the Cordale base is. The Cordale base of fingering weight in the colorway Road Trips and Rainbows, I think. It was the ZK 2020 exclusive colorway. So I finished these mitts. I also finished these mittens. These are also made out of Fiber Nymph Dye Works. This is the New Year's Wishes mini set, Peace Blue, Hope Yellow, Happiness Orange on the cozy base, which is 100% superwash merino. And they were 40 yard minis. And then the other color is Cascade 220 superwash merino. Yeah. So look, this is what the label looks like, but I used the black color. Oh, you can't see that label. I'll put in a picture of a black skein of yarn. So this is one mitt, and here's the other one, but I have it inside out because look at how beautiful these floats are. I can't tell which way I like the mitten better, honestly. I think they're equally beautiful inside out. So pretty. I knit these using, I did two repeats of orange, 2 repeats of yellow, and then the rest in blue for the body of the mittens. And then I had just a little, I wanted to use up as much of this yarn as possible, the yellow and the orange, because they're not colors I'm drawn to. These mittens are going to my mom. I was working on them last week. I did laundry at at my grandma's place. And I was working on these. She was like, oh, those are really pretty. And I was like, well, if you like them, you can have them, because I already made myself 2 pairs of mittens, I think, this year. A black pair with a cable down the back top. Maybe I made those last year. And I feel like I made them in 2020, which would be last year, but like within the last 365 days. Why am I talking about this? It doesn't matter. And I also made myself those Thrummed Mittens in January. So these are going to go to my mom. I am pleased with how they turned out. Oh, I was saying I had just a little bit of the orange and yellow left after that. So I worked up as much as I could into the thumbs and then finished them off in blue. The pattern for these is Wonder Wander by Megan Williams, and it is a beautiful, beautiful mitten pattern, very well written, very easy color work. None of the color sections are longer than 5 stitches, so you don't have to worry about catching floats, which is nice. Next in there is my list, my notebook. Ooh, this is fun. I started spinning again the project that I was working on in December with the little mini little balls of yarn or fiber that my friend Jenna sent me, and 4 or 5 other people. So I didn't do a lot. I think I did 1 ball worth added onto the spindle. But I think, yeah, I'm actually going to break this off, and I'm going to wind off what's on here, because it's starting to get a little bit, not really heavy, but it's not spinning as nicely as I would like it to. So I'm going to wind this off, and then I will start spinning a new spindle's worth. The goal for this fiber from Jenna, it's not her fiber, she didn't dye it. But the goal is for everyone that she sent the fiber to spin it and then make something out of it before ZK 2021. So I need to finish my yarn so that I think I have maybe a quarter left of the fiber to spin, and then I'm going to 3-ply it, and then I'm probably going to make a Scaling the Stronghold. It's my favorite cowl for like really, really busy. Well, I have 2 cowl patterns that I've designed, Scaling the Stronghold and Buffalo Crossing, and I really like both of those patterns for hand spun especially, but they just look really, really nice with a lot of busy yarn. Then I have 2 hats that I finished. This is a modified Squaring the Circle. What is that? It's a Jared Flood pattern. I made it lots of times. That's totally not the name of it, because Squaring the Circle is a blanket square pattern. It's where you have a square on the top of the hat. What is this called? It's on the screen now because editing self knows what it's called. She was like, "You dummy, this is what it is." So anyway, I made the hat using leftover scrappy bits of yarn, just to finish off some scraps of yarn, because I would like to have less of a scrap stash. Even though I love my scrap stash, I'd like to have less. I also made this hat, which is kind of based off of a sock pattern by Paper Daisy Creations, Lisa K. Ross, and the sock pattern is really bunched up right here. The sock pattern has you alternating sections of stockinette and reverse stockinette, but when it's on, it's not so tiny. I haven't woven in any of the ends, but this is what it is. And the yarn is Longwood Stripes. I don't know what it is, but it's right over there. I used a leftover ball that we had in the shop to try out some knitting needles for the shop. I think I talked about this. Well, so the problem is I was recording little snippets of vlog thingies last month, and I don't think I ever actually showed you guys what I was talking about. So disregard that. I was testing out some knitting needles for the shop, and I used this yarn because it was here and it was the right weight. So I have this hat that is going to be for Patrick's niece. She super, super loves Wonder Woman. So this is for her. Should be good. She should like it. But I have to weave in all the ends, what I was saying about it. The yarn I used has 4 stripes. So where all of these are cut, I cut out an orange stripe because that's not Wonder Woman colors. But hopefully she will like it. That's what the nieces are getting this year from me, are hats. His nieces are getting hats. So I need to weave in the end on that. Did I weave in the end on this? Yes, I will put this in that bag that I showed you, the one with the patchwork. Those are the things that are all done and don't need ends woven in. Then I have a pattern paper. Okay, so in this bag I have Rebirth, which is a cowl that I designed ever ago. I don't know, probably 7-ish years ago, if I had to guess. It is a cowl that is a really long tube. It can be doubled. It has a flower motif. I'm a quarter of the way through the cowl. Oh, you can kind of see that. So there's the flower motif, and then there's like this kind of, the idea is to mimic greenery, and then some little lace sections as spacers. I think this is a 40-inch cable, so it's bigger than 40 inches around. And the yarn that I'm using is Lola Bean Yarn Co. in the Trolla colorway, and it is this string bean base. It was the ZK 2020 color. So my plan for this cowl, it's another twinning project. My plan for it is to do at least 2 rounds a day, because if I do 2 rounds a day, twinning projects had to have been started in March, but they could be finished by the end of April. If I do only 2 rounds a day, I will finish by the end of April. I will likely do more than 2 rounds a day, but I'm not pushing myself. Yeah, I think the most I've done in a day is 4 rounds, but as long as I do 2, I'll be fine. In this bag, I have the Tink Tink by Megan Williams. I have done just a little bit of work since last week. So I was here on the strap. I have worked down to here. I can actually show you what this looks like this week. So there's the V. So I'm done with this side, and I need to grab the other side so I can start doing the strap for the other side. And it looks like that in the back. I'm sitting on the ground, so showing you things is a little awkward. But that is, yeah, that's the Tink Tink by Megan Williams. And the yarn that I'm using, just lost my needle. That means my stitches are hanging out. Oh well, I'll catch them shortly. The yarn that I'm using is Barocco Chai. It is a 56% linen, 44% silk blend. So the knitting of the tank is not the most fun. Sorry, I have to adjust. My foot was falling asleep. It's not the most fun, but it will be such a beautiful tank top when it's done. Next up, I have my sweater. I finished this. This is Sorrel from Wool and Pine. The yarn is from Black Cat Fibers, the Melancholia mini set. I also used Knit Picks Stroll Tonal in I know that either the alpaca lace strand that I used, or the stroll color is called Thomas, but I can't remember which one is which. So it is finished. I've already worn it 3 times since I finished it a week ago, less than a week ago. No, a week ago. I finished it a week ago, didn't I? But I've already worn it 3 times, and I haven't woven in any of the ends except some of the cuff ends. So maybe I'll do that today. Probably not. How many hours do I think I have in a day? More than I have. I think I have more than I actually have. I also have a design shawl going on right now. It looks like this, so it'll be kind of like a lacy beach wrap cover-up thing. It is crocheted. I'm using a size E hook. The yarn that I'm using is Barocco Modern Cotton DK. So this is what this looks like so far. It's going to have fringe on it. It's going to be really, really lovely. And my goal was to work on it for 2 hours a day, but I definitely did not work on it at all yesterday, and I haven't worked on it yet today. So, oops, got to get back to it. I am also working on a blanket. So I had leftovers from the chain reaction Afghan, because I bought like all of the yarn for that all in one go. My boss at the yarn shop gave me a gift voucher, but it had to be used all at once. So I used it to buy the yarn for that blanket, but then I had leftover yarn. that's been sitting in a bag near the foot of my bed, waiting for a purpose. And I thought maybe I would make a sweater for Mara or something. And then ZK inspiration struck, and April's challenge is called Enable Me. So anybody who the ZKN, the Zombie Knitting Network, has talked to, they do kind of like interview things. Anybody they have talked to, you can use as inspiration for a project. And one of the people they have talked to is Toni Lipsey. And she is very brilliant and has so much information about Tunisian crochet, but she also has really great traditional crochet blankets. And pretty sure that my friend Leah made the Daphne blanket. Pretty sure. And I have seen the Daphne blanket several times. So the Daphne blanket by Toni Lipsey is what I am working on currently. So this is, you're seeing a stack of 4 quarters. So this is the Daphne blanket by Toni Lipsey, made out of Plymouth Encore. So far, all of these yarns have sparkle in them. I have used up nearly all of the silver, the teal. I have just little balls left over that I need to weigh for yardage purposes for the cal. And then I used up all of the black, and then, was it this square? No, it's not this square. Or triangle, I mean. I know my shapes. Usually. One of them, I ran out of yarn before the end. It's this one. So I ran out of the black sparkle. I don't think that if I wasn't pointing it out that you wouldn't be able to tell. Well, you can't tell here, but I'll put in a picture. This stripe right here, this black stripe, doesn't have any sparkle. I had some plain black left over after doing the sweater, black sweater that I knit last year in June. What's it called? It was a worsted weight sweater that I was knitting in the middle of June at the ZK, at the virtual ZK. I'm sorry, you can see my bra. It was distracting me. I don't remember what it was called, but I had a leftover ball, and so I used 2 grams of that to finish up this stripe because I didn't want to rip out this stripe and then have to modify all of the other stripes. Because the way that Daphne works is you have, okay, so here's one triangle. I'm going to cover my face, sorry. So you connect it like this. So that would be half of the blanket. So it has an X in the middle. And when I ran out of the teal, on 2 squares I did 1 teal stripe and 1 blue stripe, and the other 2 squares have 2 teal stripes. And then when I ran out of the silver, 2 squares have 1 silver stripe, 1 black stripe, and 2 of the squares have 2 silver stripes for that section. Or rows, not stripes, whatever, however you want to say it. But I didn't want to waste all of that black yarn pulling back that far, so now I've used up the black, so now I'm going to do white. I'm going to do a white stripe on each, and then a 2 row white stripe, and then I only have enough blue to do 1 more row on each of the quadrants. So that's what I'm going to do. And then I am either going to do 1 or 3 rows of white on the blankets, on the triangles. I'm not sure. And then the border will be in white also. So yeah, I am super loving this. I started it on Monday, I think. And it's almost done. It's just going to be a little lapgan. So with let's see. How big do I think these stripes are? Do I have a tape measure handy? I don't think I do. I mean, I do. I'm in the yarn shop. I could go find one. But I don't think I have one in my bag right in front of me. Nope. Well, that's frustrating. I feel like each row adds an inch per side. So each row itself is 2 inches. So each stripe of 2 rows is 4 inches added. So I'm going to be adding 2 white and then a blue and then at least 1 more white. So that would be 8 more inches to the width of this. So I have this with my fingertip. So another, what did I say, 8 inches added on. That would be my hand length. So I think that will be a decent size lap blanket. And then the only other things that I have in here is I have a couple yarns or a few yarns that I'm going to wind for projects that I plan to cast on tonight or tomorrow. For the Enable Me Challenge, Kino Knits was one of the people who spoke, and I have had her Stellan pattern in my to make list for a couple years now. So I'm going to wind these minis from Daisy Knits, and I am going to use one. It's going to be like this. It's going to be like this. One sock is going to have contrasting heels and toes in the green and have the main body in pink, and then the other sock is going to have the main body in the pink or I got distracted on which color I was talking about. They're going to be matching kind of, but not completely. Kind of inverse of each other. So I'm excited about those socks. And then I am test knitting a hat for Shayna of Shayna Lines Designs. I'm using these 2 DK weight yarns. One's from Mitchell's Creations in the Parish Lines colorway. And no, Parish Lines weight is DK. The colorway is Blacked Out Catastrophe. So that's this one. And then the other one is from 716, and it's the Pride base, and the colorway is Once More with Tension. So I'm definitely not using all of either of these skeins in that hat pattern, but I have an idea of what to do with the leftovers. But we'll see once I make the hat, because the hat is a test knit, so that will be top priority once I get things wound. I also have the book that I'm reading, which is Slay by Brittany Morris. It is the story of this girl. What is her name? I'm really, really bad at remembering main characters' names because generally speaking, books are in first or third person, so you only hear their name when other characters are talking to them. So Kira Johnson is the developer behind a online MMO card game. She's 17 and so good. It's so good. She creates a MMO card game that is based on an African mythology, in African landscapes. Oh, my other leg is falling asleep now. Now it needs to be put up. And it talks about like being a Black video gamer, and there's a super tragic event that happens and the fallout from that, and it's really, really good. I'm not quite halfway through, but almost. If I'm honest, I have a new phone, and it's fancy, and it has way more storage than my old phone did, which means that it can handle video games. And so I've been playing way too much Best Fiends. Not even like a really excellent game or whatever. Actually, I love Best Fiends. It's a puzzle game, and I love it, but I've spent way too many hours, like hours each of the last several days playing. I need to stop so that I can read more and knit more. It's a lot of stuff that could be much further if I was not playing Best Fiends, but I'm not going to quit playing Best Fiends because I'm super enjoying it. Anyway, what have you been working on? What have you been reading? Let me know. I would love, love, love to hear it. I miss you guys, and look for a vlog that I think it's going to come out on Sunday. I'll probably finish recording on Sunday. It probably won't come out until Wednesday, let's be serious, but there will be a spring break vlog coming out soonish. Talk to you later. Bye!